How you doing, everybody? Just got off the phone to Mahmood. I wish I were back in Egypt. I love being in Egypt, everyone. Can't wait until we can live 6 months here, 6 months there, or 7 months there, 5 months here. It's getting so cold here now. This dress that I've got on, my cousin gave it me our service. She got it from Shein. She gave it me, and I wore it. It looks it's just a V-neck, short sleeve, long dress, and I wore it in Luxor. But I won't lie. Since I've come back from Luxor, I've started wearing it as a nightie. And it's, I saw her probably say you cheeky cow, but it's not that it's not fit for wearing in the street, because it absolutely is. But let me tell you, it's the most comfiest thing to sleep in. You feel like, I'm one of them, I can't sleep without anything on. You're like, some people prefer to sleep with absolutely nothing on. I can't. And it's weird because my husband doesn't either. Like, my mood always has to have something on. Anyway, I don't know why I'm telling you about this, but I'm just explaining. Anyway, this week, there's been quite a bit going on. I bought a new car, so I've got out of the Duke now, sold it back to Nissan Oldham. I had to pay some negative equity, which I just had to take a hit on it at the end of the day. It's nothing to do with the deal that I had. I had a very good deal. But I settled the finance very early. I should have really kept it for about 3 years, and then probably I could have just walked away and owed nothing and just swapped it. But it would have meant me going into a new car or financing a used car or something like that. And I really didn't want to do it. All I wanted, I was paying £270.88, I think. Then I was paying a loan that I've got for some other, I don't know what I've got a loan for now. I think I had a credit card. And I put about 5 or 6 grand on it or something. And I thought, it was on 0%. That's what it was on. And it was due to drop off 0%. So I thought, you know what, I'll just get a low rate loan and just buzz it down. And I was doing that. But then there was this need to change my car. So then I thought, well, if I borrow a little bit more on the loan, borrow the negative equity as a personal loan, get out of that car, get something nice. And I've ended up with the Mini Coupe. And I absolutely love it, everybody. I've only had it a couple of days. It feels heavy on the clutch. But I remember my other Mini was very much that way. The old drive on it is quite heavy, like it's quite firm. But I like that about it. It's like driving a go-kart. It really is. But I'm not whizzing round like I'm in a go-kart, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm still driving normal, but I'm just saying it's a wonderful drive, and I'm really, really, really happy with it. And also, last week, because it's my birthday next month, I thought, you know what, I'll treat myself to a birthday present. So I decided that I was going to get myself a private registration. I'm not a private registration person at all. It's not really my thing. I've always just thought they're unnecessary. But when I got this Mini, I thought, no, I don't. I think it could suit. I think it could handle a private reg. But I don't want anything that says Sarah. Although the registration is S13 and then UKG, so UK graveyard, and then the 13 is it was just a number that was there on the plate, and I looked at all sorts. There was S666 UKG, then there was S9 UKG, S8 UKG. And I was looking at them, and I nearly bought the S8 or S9 UKG because I thought it's only 5 letters, and that quite, 5 digits, and that quite appealed to me. The S666, I actually was nearly bought that, and then I thought, no, it's too devilish. Like, I'm not devilish, you know what I mean? And that's what 666 represents. It's a sign of the beast, and I thought, no, I'm not gonna have the sign of the beast on the car. So I thought, in the end, for some reason, I just plumped for the 13, and I didn't even look into 13. I knew 13 was an unlucky number, and I thought, well, it's an unlucky number, but maybe it'll be a lucky number for me. That's what I thought. I'm not averse to the number 13. So I bought it, and then for some reason I didn't do, you know me, I'm all about my research, like I research everything, don't I? But I didn't do anything about this. I didn't look into, but I did some research on the significance of the plate, like what does it mean? And there was various different things. Well, we know the UKG is for the UK graveyard, so Sarah's S13 UK, Sarah's UK graveyard. So that's for that, but the 13 is actually in some cultures it's seen as a lucky number. I think the unlucky bit goes back to Friday the 13th, back when the Knights Templar were around, and there was something, I'm not too sure about the story. I will do a story on it once I've got everything done. Within Christianity, there's 12 this, 12 that, you know. I think Judas was the 13th disciple, wasn't he? That's what I read anyway. I'm sure I did. But, you know, it's interesting. 13 actually means, in Wicca, it means the 13 cycles of the moon. You know, I'm into witchcraft. I like witchcraft. I like Wicca. 13 cycles of the moon within a coven. There are 13 witches, including the leader. That's a perfect coven. Also, the number 13 represents death. It represents death in the tarot card. The death card apparently is connected to 13, I think, which is another reason why people think that 13 is unlucky. But actually, the death card within tarot doesn't mean death. It means new beginnings. That's what it means, or that's what I'm led. I'm not a tarot card reader, so if you know differently, please let me know. So 13 represents the new beginnings, and that's everything that I'm doing at the moment. Look at what I'm doing, starting this new channel, going into a new decade, you know, having a new start to what I'm doing, going into new ventures, you know, becoming a funeral celebrant, you know, doing that. Maybe perhaps changing where I'm living at some point, you know, in the future. It's like, when I say change where I'm living, I'm always going to live here. I'm always going to keep my flat. I'm always going to keep my cottage. What I mean is, I'm married to an Egyptian, and we don't know what's going to happen. You know, like, are we going to end up living abroad? At the moment, no. You know, at the moment, I'm in my job. I'm settled. It is what it is. But it's interesting, you know, like, this next decade for me is going to be, I want every single month to count. I want to be doing something, and I want to keep driving change throughout. Do you know what I mean? I really want my 50s to count. And it's not that my 40s haven't counted. I've done some wonderful things. You know, I've started Sarah's UK Graveyard. I've moved it up to Barnsley. You know, I've got my lovely little cottage. You know what, everybody? I've got the house that I always wanted. I always wanted a quirky little cottage with a little path that goes up to it, with beautiful views. The only thing that this house hasn't got, and perhaps I'm still yet to find the final cottage, although I feel very, very at home here, I wanted a garden, you know, something where I could have, like, but then again, I've got a garden. I've got my garden out front, and I've got a garden out the back. So it's just me. I need to just make use of it. So I suppose what I'm saying is, you know, like, during my 40s, I did things, but in this next decade, I want to do more. So the celebrancy course, I'm going to complete that this year, and then next year I'm going to build the business, and I've also got a full-time job, and I can't ditch the job at this stage to do the business. And I don't even know if I want to, but I know I want to be a funeral celebrant, so I have to make the two work. Well, luckily for me, at certain parts of the year, quite frequently, my hours change, my working hours. So, like, at the moment, if I seem a bit out of breath, I've just run downstairs. I'm making those chips to go on that chicken curry. But yeah, so, like, at certain parts of the year, I have to work, what is it, 10 while 2, 11, 12, 1, 2, so it's 4 hours a day. Now, I don't have to work 10 while 2, As long as I do before hours a day during that time, I'm fine. So for instance, during those times, if I want to do funerals, provided I can get work either off Oldham Funeral Parlours or Barnsley Funeral Parlours, and when I know those times are coming up, I can put that aside in my diary, do you know what I mean? So that I can be booked in. I'll elaborate more when I get round to it. At the moment, I'm still doing the training. But if I can do that, what I'm going to do then, I'll work my hours around that. So I'll give you an example. If I get a funeral in the morning, 11 o'clock, go and do that. Once I've finished that, go to work, do before hours, job done. So I get to sort of hone my craft, if you know what I mean. See how the land lies with it, because some people will say being a celebrant can be a full-time job. Other people will say, well, it's all right as a side income. I don't know the reality for myself. I know that the bloke that's teaching me is very established, and I think he does all right out of it. But we'll just have to wait and see. But I need to build the business, and that's what I want to do. Just going back to what I was saying before I went on this course, I had like this loud frigging noise, like a loud voice in my head every day. It's since I got made redundant, and it started in my head every day. Not like I weren't hearing voices, but like some, like an idea. And I thought, do it, Sarah, you've wanted to be a celebrant for a while, this is your opportunity, do it. Do it. And then I was all up for doing it. I was like, right, I'm going to get some money, I'm going to do it. And then I got offered a job. My current employer saw my CV and then, said, do you want to come for a job? I'd just been made redundant, and, I'm enjoying my job. I am enjoying my job. It was a bit quiet at first, but it's really picking up now, and I'm enjoying it. But that noise, that idea in the back of my head won't go away. But it's funny, because since I've now started the course, it's just quieting down. So like I've not got that in the back of my head, because it were really bugging me. Like, it was constant, be a celebrant. It was like, I don't know, it's weird. I'm not going to say it was like a, something spooky, but it seemed weird, like I'd never had that before, ever, So, I don't know. Anyway, that's where I'm at. So, the idea behind 50 this next decade is to make it count. And that's what I'm going to do. I want to share something with you before I go. I've started taking a supplement, and it's these, everyone. Magnesium Complex. You see them advertised all over TikTok. I think they want about 15 quid on TikTok, depending on who's selling them. I got these off Amazon, and I think I paid 8 quid for them. And the tablets are quite big. They're a supplement tablet, aren't they? The tablets are quite big. They're quite sizable. But it says on the box, have 2 a day. But I think that's too much. You've got to be careful with magnesium, because if you have too much, it can lower your blood pressure, and it can do other things. I can't really remember. You have to look it up. I'm not telling you to take them. I'm not telling you not to take them. I'm saying if you're going to take a supplement, any supplement, you need to look at what will happen if you have too much. Because I think these days we'll just take out, won't we? And I'm the same. We'll just take out. And I was going to have 2 of these a day. And then I thought, well, hang on a minute. Like, what is the recommended daily allowance? So I looked at that. And one of these tablets is almost the recommended daily allowance. The 400, if you have 2 of them, it takes you over, but it's still within the safe limits, is the research that I got. But no, I'd rather just take it and actually have it complement my health rather than cause me other problems. So if you've got like high blood pressure, magnesium apparently is supposed to be good. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. I'm certainly not a nutrition expert. I only know what I read online. So do your own research. But what I will tell you is this. If you want from someone who's taking them, my sleep has improved 100%. I mean, I slept well before. Honest to God, I knock out. I wake up at middle at night to go to loo or whatever, as usual, but I come back to bed and I go straight back to sleep. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm refreshed. But more importantly than that, well, not more important because that's very important, but the biggest thing is I've got, and I've still got it to a certain degree, you know, but my eye was really badly swollen, like swelling on my face and water retention. It's gone down. I noticed when I started taking these, that swelling under my eye went right down. Still there a little bit, don't get me wrong. Do you know what I mean? It's not a cure-all. But what can I tell you? Better sleep. And I feel it's good for like depuffing. I really do. And for that reason, I make sure I take one every single night. So this week's video is probably a very boring one. It's just me harping on about this, that and the other. I'll obviously edit it down and do all the things that I need to do. There is going to be themes to the weekly videos moving forward. Like I said, I've just been up the wall really, and I didn't not want to post a video. I actually wanted to get this video out yesterday, and then one thing and another. I got a channel out on Sarah's UK Graveyard. I got a video out on Sarah's UK Graveyard, and I was still editing that till 8:30. Well, nearly about 8:15 last night. So I didn't release that one until 9 o'clock, and it was because I was researching some of the people, and yeah, I just went on a bit of a journey with it. So that's that. Anyway, everyone, I'm knackered. I'm gonna go because I can smell my chips cooking, and I want my tea. And yeah, let's see what this week brings. And I will give you. We'll be talking about next week. I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but there's loads that I want to talk to you about. So consult my list. I'll decide what we're going to talk about next. It'll line up with what I'm actually doing, and we'll take it forward from there. If anyone's got any video ideas or requests, things you want to know, anything like that, just put it in the comments. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you either at Sarah's UK Graveyard or here next week.